When I started making short films, it was probably April of 2008. I walked downstairs, there was this camera in the middle of the great room, and I picked it out of my Easter basket, and I was like, wow, what am I gonna do with this? It was really bad at first. The first video I ever made, it was Pajama Day with lightsaber battles. And at that point, there were no special effects though that I had in my films. There was no animated lightsaber, there was none of that.
Every time I went over to his house, we would always be making something. He had like this small little digital camera, like the stuff you can go to stores now and get for like, what, 20 bucks? And we're like, hey, you know, for these fight scenes we did, we should choreograph it.
Now it's your time to die.
It was still a very awkward movement. Like I'm not going to give us a praise saying that nothing in them was awkward. I can go back now, especially from what I've done. Like I could just cringe so hard. There's this one project we did, and it was a zombie movie. We did a lot of zombie and monster movies, but there was only one of which I got put off production from. Mainly because of actually school-related things. I had to take some personal leave for that because I wasn't doing too well in school. This was about 6th grade, I think this happened. So it was like at the height whenever I was in a lot of them. But I have a feeling that like if I were put on it, going back and watching it, because he gave me a copy of it, going back and watching it, it wouldn't have been the greatest. It wouldn't have been the best if I were in it.
Me and Quinn, we go way back filming videos. I was in a lot of his old videos. We had a real fun time filming them wherever we go, whether it be on like a little small trip or our family's small group, which was just a time where our parents would get together for Bible study, and us kids would just hang out and most of the time just film and have fun, and it was just all around a fun time filming with Quinn and making these funny, silly videos that we had all the time, and it's something that I'll never forget because it was a lot of fun for me to do that, and yeah, it was a fun time.
I think I was maybe only in 1 or 2 during high school, because it was also kind of a time where Quinn and I, we were still friends, but we didn't really talk a whole lot. And that's mainly because like we just started having a bit of different interests. It wasn't that we hate anything or anything like that. Nothing like that at all. It's just that we kind of drifted a little bit. But that started coming back around like 11th, 12th grade. Mainly because that's whenever Quinn started getting into the film classes at school, and he could just start cranking these things out.
And I learned how to do cinematography, and I learned all that in film class. And I was able to meet some friends and new friends, and they were able to help me make films. I was able to meet Luke and Amjad. I was able to meet Michael. I was able to meet a bunch of different people, and they really supported me.
I started filming with Quinn like 2 years ago over the summer. It was pretty fun. Besides like the hassle of like trying to get the schedule to work, it was a really interesting role to play, the Soul Hunter, because I'd say it was the one that I really had to put on a character for. It's basically this guy calls a therapist over to talk to him about some weird things he's been experiencing, and a really cool plot twist happens at the end. I won't spoil it for you. You should really go back and watch it. The other role was the Elf Genie. Now, the Elf Genie was also like a really big take, simply because I had to change my voice more, and I had to fit the role of a previous actor for Elf Genie. So I really had to live up to, what Elf Genie was to me. Just a really fun character. And that was really fun to play. I mean, the pressure was still kind of there, trying to, be as good as he did on Elf Genie, which, is impossible. But you know, it was still really fun. I'd say like my two favorite films or short films are either the Return. I think it was like Souls 2. I think that was the name of it. Souls 2. That was really fun to play because I got to like, I already had experience acting as like the Soul Hunter, and now like doing that with like more people. Now it was like me, Quinn, and then Luke. That was a really fun experience. So I don't know if I'd say that's my favorite. Like it's like a tie between that and Shine. Shine was really good. Like just the way the camera was like used, and just most of it, like the message behind it, like it was just a really good film. So that's a tie between my two favorite films in the Quinniverse or Q Studios, because I don't know if Shine's part of the Quinniverse, but you should go back and watch. You should definitely go back and watch some of the videos to see what the Quinniverse really is.
So I started my journey in Quinn's films with Finding the Assassin, which then I started doing Souls, I believe, was next, and those all kind of meshed together eventually, and it just became this giant epic saga known as the Quinniverse, which brought in all kinds of his other projects, such as Elf Genie, a lot of his different works. He really felt like he was challenging himself to tie all of his narratives into one, and it created this kind of an interesting subculture almost, which had its own inside jokes and references to like his work that he did when he was really young, such as alley farts and other weird things that just no one else would get but us. But for us, it was just a joy to kind of see how things kind of transformed over time, and just tying things all together and having a good time making films.
My most recent film was Quinn Wars. It's not a film that I was particularly sold on. It wasn't a film that I was expecting to be very good. It was just a film that I was doing just for the sake of filling time for me, and also I wanted to try out some new special effects I was working on. But before that, we were working on a film that I was really expecting to be really good. It was going to be Revenge to Regret. It was actually originally going to be a 3-part film, and a lot of people weren't able to show up on certain days to film, so we ended up doing it all in 2 days. We did it all in 2 days, and the film ended up being one film.
So then we also, besides the Quinniverse, we did some side narratives such as Wild Creatures, where it was the end of the world, and we were fighting against these creatures which had taken over, which all looked like Quinn, naturally. And then Revenge to Regret, where we explored being magicians and the kind of like the dramas, the underlying dramas in the world of magic. So besides magic, we explored a lot of different themes, such as action adventure, drama, and it was a good way to kind of dive in head first and figure out what filmmaking really was.